I think a lot of us are guilty of falling into the delusion that we can change other people. And sometimes it's easy to fall into that delusion because a lot of people think that they can be changed by others very easily. Like your love for me is going to make me want to change who I want to be, change who I like to be. And it may motivate you to want to go within and say, you know what, I probably shouldn't be that way, or this was probably wrong, or I could probably do better. But notice how I'm using my words and notice what I'm saying, because I'm saying it the way I'm saying it for a reason. When a person is happy being a certain way, acting a certain way, doing certain things, say for instance, a cheater, somebody who you care deeply about and want to be in a relationship with, say for instance, they have a hard time being faithful. Not only do they have a hard time being faithful, they kind of like the idea of having options, but they don't want to let you go when they know that you're not okay being just an option to them. And you may find out that they're doing something and you may confront them, and then they tell you they're going to change for you because you're special, you're worth it. And instead of you giving them the space and the energy to be who it is that they feel good being, you go along with the plan because you believe in the idea of them loving you so much to want to change who they are and who they like to be for you. I say take the weight off of them and yourself. Take the responsibility off of them, because first of all, it won't be long lasting unless they do not want to be that person anymore deep down in the core. This goes to the age-old question, can people really change? I do believe people can change because I think that we're constantly and forever learning who we are. And we go through phases. And sometimes the habits that we've developed over time out of necessity because we felt afraid or we're trying to protect ourselves. But sometimes they are just flat out things that we enjoy doing. Don't try to change a person's behavior. Don't try to get them to be what they're not. Because when it doesn't work, it's funny how it usually has a bad effect on you. You start to think that you're not good enough, and if you were better, they would love you more, and you could help them be a better version of themselves. It's just a two-edged sword. You're flattered by the fact that they want to try, but you're also left in a very uncomfortable place if they fail or if they seem miserable in the process of trying to be who they don't really want to be. We can be motivated from outside sources. We could really want to be different. But the change must occur on the inside. We must be inspired. It must come from within if we're going to have any chance at all of making a lasting impression. One that will be able to withstand any amount of opposition, any amount of turbulence, any testing at all. Because that's usually how you know the strength of something. through the testing process. That's how you know how strong you are, how strong something else is, how strong a relationship is, how strong a job is, how strong a position is, how strong love is, through the testing. That's where you really understand whether or not something sticks. And to avoid the pain or the discomfort or the sadness or all of the emotions that comes with somebody feeling like they failed or they failed you, to avoid all of that, accept people for who they are and where they are, and determine as early as possible whether or not you can accept who they are as a partner that's compatible for you. Without saying, you know what, I like X, Y, Z, P, Q, R, S, but if only you did T, if only you did Y, if only you did H, if only you did Q, you will be perfect. Because once we go down that aisle and people try to make all these changes to be what you want them to be, and then it still isn't enough, they regret and resent you for making them change who they were when you had no guarantee to love them. Because we can't guarantee what our emotional state's going to be for anybody in the future. That's the whole reason why the idea of to death do us part really never sat well with me. It seemed like I was trying to sell my future self in the moment. Oh, I know that in 2030, I'm going to love you like I love you now, maybe more. I have no idea where I'm going to be in 2028 or 2030 or 2050 or 2024 for that matter. No clue whatsoever. I have a desire to want to know where I'm going to be. I have a plan. I have thoughts and a vision of where I'd like to go. But I'm not driving this thing by myself. No one is. And this is why we have to be realistic when it comes to our partnerships, when it comes to our investments, when it comes to our engagements and the things that we put our name on and our time in, because we can't guarantee but so much. So don't cause yourself unnecessary stress and strain and struggle with looking at something that you know is not going to make you happy as is. People come as is. We should get in relationships with people as is, not for who they could potentially be, not for who they were at some point in time, but for who they are now and the energy that they carry within them right now, because that is what creates the future. I can think all day long about what I want to be and what I want to have and what I want to do and what I want to say, but if I do not put that feeling into it, if I am not inspired to take action when advantageous, those thoughts just start to act like furniture. They're just there, taking up space. So don't do that to yourself and don't do that to other people. It's about you being able to accept people unconditionally and starting with yourself. This is me. This is what I want. I'm not afraid of that. This is what I'm working on. This is what I need to work on so that I can be better suited to the partner that is best for me. And sometimes it could take longer than we want. Sometimes we know we need to work on ourselves before we get into a relationship. Sometimes we know the truth and we're not trying to hear that. But when we are trying to hear that, when we're at a place where we're ready to do the work within so that we can attract to us what really will make us happy, then we've arrived. We're on the path towards being our greatest self, being our best self. When we're not afraid to be realistic and to look at the truths about us.